What's up, guys? Rated Designs here, and today you guys are witnessing something pretty awesome. This is my new current banner that I'm going to use. You guys have probably seen it, and I'll show you guys it live on a banner real quick. As you guys can see, right here. And it's kind of a really cool effect. You guys have probably seen me do it with the actual backgrounds, and I never really came around to doing a tutorial about it. So I said, why not do a little bit of a tutorial? It's pretty simple tutorial, pretty simple effect, but if you do it right, it looks really nice. Anywho, so we're going to just get started. First thing you're going to want to do is go to Cinema 4D. Now, everyone always asks me, you know, is there a certain way in Cinema 4D that I do my text? Well, there's really no way to do it, like certain way. You can use any type of text. I just prefer using, you know, because when you use like a splatter like that, like a huge paint splatter, or like a liquid splatter, I kind of like to give it that, you know, that odd look, like kind of something like, you know, you wouldn't expect like a cursive font to be grungy, so you throw that grungy splatter with the grunge type on a you know, cursive font. It kind of just gives it that really weird contrast, and I just like it. It's kind of like awkward. It really opens people's eyes, makes people think. So, up to you on the font, guys. Really just depends. Let me just use the word splatter. Doesn't really matter what font you use. I think I'm just going to do a cursive one, just because it's kind of current on what my banner is. This is Bira, B-I-R-A, Bira personal use only. Pretty cool font. I'll just render it out plain real quick, and I'll just show you guys what it kind of looks like and what your settings on it right now. As you guys can see, very soft white right now on it. Looks really nice, but pretty cool so far. But anyways, you know, most of the fonts are going to start off like this, just with a regular cap, and it's going to be something like this. So for most people, if you guys want to see in Photoshop, as you can see, I use a pretty big depth here, and the reason is because you really want to give that illusion that these splatters are coming from nowhere, coming from something behind it. So what I recommend is using something like around 200 to 300 depth on your text, and the caps, we're going to throw on fillet caps of 1 centimeter for this part. Now, whatever color you do use, so for this one, I'm going to use a nice, I'm going to use a nice dark gray. And I'm going to basically duplicate this text, pull the other one below, the duplicate one, make the caps 3, and just pull it behind, just like you would usually do an outline. Now, for people that aren't aware, you can do multiple different, you know, you can do whatever you want, but this bigger capped text, for instance, the outer basically outline, needs to be the same color you're going to use as the splatters. So make sure that you guys have the same color on the outside. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to render this out. Doesn't really matter how, you know, let me actually duplicate this, and we're going to make a text splatter. Oh, I'm sorry. What the? Anywho, sorry if you guys hear my phone, I'm just calling somebody. I'm just going to shrink this. Let me shrink it down to about 100 on the height. No. 50. And something like that. And anyways, we're going to just kind of render this out. And as you guys can see, ooh, we're just going to render this out. Oh, here's the biggest part of this. With the text splatters, you are going to want to have, if you have your text looking up a little bit, make sure it's head on. For people that aren't aware, make sure this is head on. So, something to that extent. And we're going to just render. So while we render, I'm going to explain to you guys something. Anyways, you guys are probably pretty familiar with the 30K pack that is going to be coming out pretty damn soon. Hopefully I can get to 30K pretty soon. It's, you know, something that I'm pretty happy about. You know, this 30K pack is going to be 30,000 subscribers is going to mean so much to me. I think a lot of people are going to, I think, realize that, but just means so much to see that that so many people you know, subscribe to my channel. It's just amazing. It really is. But yeah, I'm going to let this render, guys, and don't go anywhere. I shall be right back. Alright, so I am back. As you guys can see, text is rendered, and what we're going to do is usually you would do this on a background, but I'm just going to kind of throw this out there for you guys. On here, let me find what I put this under. I don't even remember what did I save this as? Splatter. Okay, here we go. Okay, so as you guys can see, here's the splatter. We're going to just shrink this because we are using, this is rendered in 1080, so let me just create a black background. And, you know, we're going to do a little bit of some text effects. So text effects, we're just going to use, of course, to get it to look like my stuff, gradient overlay, reflected, of course, reverse it. And we're going to pull this up to a light gray and hit OK and switch to overlay. As you guys can see, it kind of gives it a cool effect. Move it to about 75%. Drop shot, you guys are going to want a lot of a drop shot, about 20-50 spread. 50% if it's on a black, 20 or something if it's on white. And behind it, we're just going to add some cool stuff. So, for instance, some splatters, of course. Just something to spice this up a little bit. You know, nothing too crazy. This is just me screwing around. So this part, I mean, obviously you guys should already have done, but I'm going to show you guys just the main gist of what you have to do to get this thing to look presentable in the nicest way to say. Kind of just get some grunge going on here. As you guys can see, it kind of really alters the look of the text because it's very weird contrast and it just doesn't make sense, which is kind of what I like. And just gonna throw that on overlay. And we're just going to do, I think, one more thing. Oh, nope. I don't like that one. All these brushes, guys, I find all over the place, if you guys are really wondering. I just kind of search brushes. Brush King is one of the biggest places to get brushes for me. So, definitely one of the coolest things to do is just search brushes. Anyways, so let's get started into our splatter. So, as you guys can see, we've got a nice look to our text. So, you know, of course, usually what I would do first is I'd add a little bit of this. Throw it into overlay. 35, give it that grungy look already. But what I have here, and I don't really remember where I got it. I'm sure people already know what these are. As you guys can see, I think Era has them in his pack. Realistic Splatters is what they're called, and they're basically something really just, they look like this. And it's this one that I use. So, for instance, we'll go to this nice light blue that I always use. Oh, I am so sorry, wrong thing. It's a big, big file, guys, so... I will throw this in the description so you guys can download it, just for the effect. So what you're going to do here is you're going to want to shrink this down pretty small. Zoom into about 100 now, because this is the point where it gets kind of technical. So what you're going to want to do here is really you're just going to grab a soft eraser, small, around 50 pixels, just so you can erase. But right here, as you guys can see, you're going to want to give it the effect that it is behind the text, coming from below. So say I wanted it to come out of this X area. All I wanted to do is just erase this part right here, and it's going to come out of the X area. Then if I wanted this part to stay, all I got to do is erase right here, give it that look, and kind of just erase the parts you don't need. So if I liked this, which I'm not really into right now, that's what I'd take. Now, just kind of basically screw with it. You want to keep switching the direction, though. You don't want to keep the same direction, because splatters, if you realize, splatters, you know, it's a splatter. I just said splatter a lot. But it goes all over the place. It flies. And that's kind of what you're looking for here, so. Is something that, you know, goes in a completely different direction and constantly is just freaking out. So, for instance, up, this is what we're going to want to do. So if I want to have this come out of the A, I'm just going to want to sit here and kind of erase here, erase in here. And you're just going to erase the excess that you don't really need, of course. Now, a really easy way to just keep these is just duplicating them before you even kind of go into it. And so, for instance, out of the S, we're going to just kind of erase right here. Oh, I'm sorry. Too much. There we go. Kind of right here. And that's kind of all I really want out of that one. And then we're going to just keep dragging this in here. And you're going to want to, like I said when I say flip directions, literally flip it upside down, horizontal transform, turn it sideways, do whatever you got to do to this thing, because it's got to look crazy. So, for instance, we're going to turn this to the side, duplicate one layer of it, and I'm going to have a splatter coming out of the side of this T. So I just kind of want that here, and this here, and maybe one right here. You know, you can have them crossing, it doesn't really matter. And that looks kind of cool. Maybe right here on the top of the P. Maybe coming out of this area on the P. Right here. And this is where the drop shadow comes in. If you don't have enough of a drop shadow, it's going to look like there's no black background. So as you guys can see, kind of the gist of what I'm doing. We're going to flip this, kind of give it this kind of reaction. So the E, we're going to have it come out of the E now. And this is, it's very time consuming and it's very frustrating because if you don't get it right, it could be the end of your project, depending upon what you're doing with it. And this part we don't need. And as you guys can see, I kind of just duplicate some of these too, just because I cheat on it. But yeah, kind of cool. I love this effect. Something that me and Era and a lot of people have not given. So as you guys can see, I think we're going to just merge all these layers and all of your layers. Now, as you guys can see kind of what I am talking about, I'm going to have to up this drop shadow again. I'm going to have to up it to about 75 just to give it that black border around it so you guys can definitely get the feeling. But like this one, I'm sorry, I'm really going to have to erase this part. Kind of something like that. And here, because I really want it to be behind the text, something like that. And this is where we add our drop shadow. I usually just add a drop shadow. I keep it at 5. I keep it around 2%. And make sure this is global 120. And about 50% on the opacity. And it kind of gives it the feeling that it's alive. And what you're going to do is if you guys look at this one, there's the little bulbs and how they brighten up and stuff. All you do is you take a nice brush like this. Not the crazy one, but a nice soft brush. Around 20 pixels. No, I take it back. About 50 again. Okay. And you're going to just take white. Make sure you create a new layer and just put a dot over every single one that you want to have that effect. Over the little knob. No homo. But, yeah, kind of got this cool looking effect. And I'm going to show you what it looks like once. Alright, so, I mean, you know, you might find some other ones if you are interested in any of them, like this one. It just depends on what you're down to. So, after that, you're just going to switch to overlay. And it gives it the nice light up blue. And you guys can actually see it better when I do this. Add nice curves to it. Gives it that nice, bright, vibrant color. And, if I add like a photo filter of like a blue, it'll brighten it up too. And that's kind of the way to get away with it. So I'm going to zoom out. As you guys can see, that is what I have. Looks kind of cool. And I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a long tutorial, but I know you guys will enjoy it a lot. So please rate, comment, subscribe, like the shit out of this video, and also make sure you guys check out all my social links. So thank you guys so much for 27K. It means so much. So deuces, guys.